Next step down. Place the following clips in order on the timeline from extreme 1, which is 3 minutes 43 seconds. All clips should be just video with no audio. So far, so good. I've got no audio in my video, and I've kind of cleaned up all my transitions at this point. So I'm going to take that 343 clip again. And the easiest way to do this, I've got a list on the EDL of all these little video clips I need to throw in there. So all I'm going to do is insert it into the timeline. I'm immediately going to get rid of the audio. And I am also going to change the transition right away here. All right, so now I am going to take bits and pieces out of this clip to leave into the movie and get rid of the rest. So the first on my list, I look over, it says the snowmobile jump. And I am going to assume, let me just fix my mic here real quick. I'm going to assume it's early on in the clip. So I'm going to hit play. Actually, let me scrub a little bit. So I got the skier, there's the snowmobile jump. So I'm going to try to scrub to the start, and this is where it gets really tricky, kind of the start of the snowmobile jump. Let me expand it, maybe that'll help me out in terms of my scrubbing ability. Yeah, that helps. So anytime you find that it's touchy, that you can't seem to get the exact frame that you want, expand your timeline, and that'll allow you to be able to really detail into the frame that you exactly want. So here's my snowmobile guy, and I'm going to do a bunch of edits here. So I'm going to keep this up. Video split. I don't want that piece, so I'm going to trash that piece. So now just let me check this transition. It should go from this to the snowmobile. Perfect. I'm waiting for the end of the snowmobile. Kind of jittery. The video is kind of bad on this one. He lands, and then you get this guy. So I'm going to try to get back to the end of close enough. Good. I'm going to split that one. And I'm going to keep going. I don't need to delete anything because now I'm looking for the next piece on my EDL, which says the jumper who lands in a tree. So I'm going to keep playing this and start looking for a jumper who lands in a tree. This looks like a jumper, but no trees around. Oh, this could be good right here. Oh, that's the one. Okay, so I got that jumper landing in a tree, so I'm going to scroll back. Get to the beginning. Clip that out. I'm going to split. And now I'm going to get rid of the one in front. So now what I have is the jumper. Oh, what did I do? Oh, let me undo. Here's a great example. Oh, I see. Let me undo. So something happened there. So there's my snowmobile. Yeah, I must have cut a couple of times. Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I cut a couple of times. Let's do that. All right, let's try that. Good, right there. Split that sucker and get rid of that piece. Now I should be right at the jumper. There we go. And boom, hits the tree. Okay. We'll split that right there and keep going here. So what's my next one? The scene where the skier comes down the biggest mountain and starts a mini avalanche. So I'm going to keep playing this. Hits the tree. I don't think it's this one. Pretty sure it's not this one. This is the hardest part, really refining the edits. This is the piece I think I'm looking for right here where he starts a little mini avalanche. It's quite a mountain. Nope, maybe not. Oh, I can see it right in the timeline right now. Which makes it really cool about the thumbnails on the timeline. You can actually kind of see where you really want to be, where you want to go. I think it's after this. Yeah, it's this one right here. So I'm going to come back. We're going to split that right there, and I'm going to get rid of this one, the one ahead of it. So let's see what the edit looks like. So a guy hits a tree, and here he comes down the mountain. It's a little bit longer of a clip. You'll see the little mini avalanche forming. Okay, so we're going to end that right there. Oops, a little too much. Come back just a little bit. Perfect. We're going to split that right there. And we're going to keep going. Next one is trucking shot of the border with the brown background. So I can see right there. There it is right in the timeline. So those thumbnails are really helpful as they look in the timeline. So this is the one I'm looking for. I'm just looking for the beginning of the shot here. I think it's right after this. Yeah, it's right after this guy waving. And that's where the start is right there. So I'm going to split that one and get rid of the front. And this is the guy with the brown background. It's a great trucking shot. It's almost like they're in a helicopter or something. So it's done after this. After right there, just before this guy starts jumping. So that's good right there. I don't know. You get a little bit more of his jump there. That's good. Let's split that. Keep playing. Now I'm looking for, I think, another trucking shot of the camo-looking jacket border. So let's scroll through. None of these guys have camo jackets on. Oh, wait a minute. I think this guy does. Yeah, that's the guy I want right there. So that's the start there. Boom. Split. Get rid of the beginning. And I should be right at this guy. Yep. Another great trucking shot. Look at the some kind of aerial camera they're working on. Or helicopter maybe. So I'm cutting it right there. Whew, tough. That was the edits on that one were a little tough. I'm going to get rid of the whole end because that's the end of my list in terms of my EDL in this particular piece. Okay, so we got all of those in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Was that 5 clips? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clips in there. Notice all the transitions are straight cuts too, by the way. Kind of interesting how that worked out. So I'm at the end of the movie, and I'm moving down the EDL. I'm on step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 now. Place the interview clip in the timeline and cut it just before the interviewer asks the first question about how was the run, and cut it after his answer, right before the interview says it was amazing. So my interview clip, I think, is the one that looks really white. Let me just see what it looks like when I put. Yeah, that's exactly which one it is. So I'm going to go to the beginning of this clip because I think there's a little intro here. Yeah. We're going to get rid of this. Okay, so I just heard, how was your run? So I'm looking at it. She says, you came in second, didn't you? And then how was your run? So I'm good, right where I need to be. I hit the split. I'm going to get rid of the front. And I'm going to hear his answer. Little French. Okay, it was amazing. So I'm looking for when she moves the microphone to her mouth. And I'll clip it right there. Yeah. But. That looks good right here. So I'm going to split it there and get rid of the whole rest of the interview. Marcus, sorry, we don't want to hear anything else. So he just answers one question there, and that's going to look good at this point in time. So I'm going to keep going my EDL. Go back and move the snowmobile clip to the second slot after the landscape intro and the helmet cam scene. So I'm going to take let me shrink this up so you can see all of them. I am going to take the snowmobile clip, which I think is this one. So I'm going to take that clip and move it into the second slot. And again, how you move a clip, if you select a clip, you're just clicking on it. But if you're moving it, you lean on it a little bit. And you'll see the clip pops up into the timeline. And now I can move it anywhere I want. So I'm going to pop that into the second slot there. So now we go from, kind of cool, we actually go from the landscape piece to the snowmobile piece. Looking good. Create a freeze frame just when the jumper hits the tree. So I'm going to go back to my jumper. There's my jumper. So I'm going to go boom right when he hits the tree. I've got my playhead there. It says I want to create a freeze frame. So I'm going to select the clip and I'm just going to click on freeze. So what that does, it creates 3 clips. It creates the video clip before it, creates the freeze frame, and then the video clip after, which I think is going to be a problem in this particular case. So I hit the freeze frame, and then it finishes the video. So we'll keep that. Let's see. Yep, it doesn't. The EDL does not tell me to delete the video pieces, so the freeze frame will stay intact. Split the last trucking shot of the camel jacket border into 2 and rotate the second half of the clip to play upside down. So I'm going to go to this guy right here. I'm going to go to, let me expand my screen a little bit. So I'm going to go halfway into that clip. Right when he's in air, I'm going to split the clip. Then I'm going to take the second half of the clip. And what I'm going to do is I am going to rotate it upside down. And I know it's hard to do on this screen. You're probably not going to see it. But if you remember that, you're taking 2 fingers up in the monitor window, 2 fingers, and you're actually twisting the 2 fingers. So you'll get an arrowhead that shows up just like that when you twist 2 fingers up in the monitor window. You do it once. It does it 90 degrees. You do it again. Another arrow. That'll give you the upside down look. So here's how that looks. He's straight up and down. And then you'll see the transition, and then he's upside down. Kind of creates a cool little effect on that particular piece of the video. And then we go into the interview. Okay. Grab any crash scenes from the Extreme 2 clip and place it as a split screen during the interview answer. Make the split screen only half of the answer time. So I'm going to go into which one are we looking at? Extreme 2, which is the clip that is 3 minutes and 26 seconds. This one. And instead of pulling it all into the timeline and doing some edits in the timeline, I'm actually going to do the editing up above in the bin. Okay, so you got your audio back, which is kind of interesting. So apparently there's some crashes here at some point in time. Let me try to scrub through and start to see some of the crashes that are happening. I think they're in the end, closer to the end of the video clip. So I'm looking for a particular crash scene. And if I remember right, it's roughly in this ballpark. Let's see what this one is. There's all kinds of crash scenes here. So that's the piece of that I want, and then I'll just grab just a little bit of this. And then if you remember right, how you put this in as a split screen, I'm going to move the playhead to roughly about half on the interview. Well, about a third of the way into the interview. And I'm going to hit the clip that I just rolling edited or through an edit in the timeline. And I'm going to hit the triple numbers, triple dots, and I'm going to put that in as a split screen, which is the very last question, or the very last selection. So I don't want it as long as the whole entire interview. So I'm going to drag this in so it's only about a third of the interview. So my split screen ends up being, if I watch it, Aurelian cuts to a split screen. Couple of crashes. Ooh, that's a good one. And then go back to the interview on the split screen side. Keep in mind the audio of the interview goes through the whole thing. So there we go. Tough one there. Next one down. Film and place any clip of your choice at the end of the movie as a closing shot. Make sure the audio is trimmed from that clip as well. So in this particular case, I'm not going to do it, but you would go down to the camera. And I know this will be tough because I'm in the studio right now, but so I could film. Well, let's do this. I guess I'll make a little film here in the studio. So I'm going to hit video, and I'm going to film kind of a nice little home away from home where I am in the sound studio. That's good. Go back in, and I'm going to say use video. And it's going to pop that video into the timeline. Then I'm going to click on it. I'm going to click audio so I can get rid of the audio detach, because you'd be hearing my voice talking anyway. And trash that. And I'm going to change the transition here too to a split, as well as this one. I didn't catch that one. You'll notice the timeline from time to time. The thumbnails will show up and sometimes they won't show up. That's pretty much a limitation of the iPad. I know the iPads are not the most powerful iPads we could have, and so that's kind of why you see this particular one with a gray box in it. So as I look through my whole movie, the only piece, honestly, that has audio in it whatsoever is the interview. I look, and my last piece is add any audio track you wish to the entire project from the theme music archive. So I'm going to go up to my media bin, and I'm going to go over to audio, and I'm going to hit theme music. And I think for this particular one, I am going to put in, let's see what neon sounds like. Oh, I like that one. That's actually going to fit in pretty well. So I'm going to push that in, and you'll notice the music fills the exact time that your video is. So let's see how this sounds. Wow, I think that's going to work perfectly. Let me go towards the end. Something I want to show you when you throw audio in. If I go over to the interview, which again is the only piece, if you remember, is the only clip that had audio still attached to it. Listen to the music. So the music fades so that you can hear the audio from the audio clip. Get our good split screen with our guys crashing. And then if you notice back, when it comes back to a clip that doesn't have any audio, the volume of your audio track increases. So pretty cool automatic feature found in iMovie. So that's pretty much it. We are good to go. I'm going to hit the back arrow and get me out of the timeline. And the last thing you need to do is post it up to YouTube. And again, you do that by hitting your export button. And you got YouTube right there. Make sure you log in and post it up to YouTube and post your link up on Edmodo. Hopefully that was helpful.